Hi, this is African Scrappy Minnie, and today I want to go over a tip that I discovered using a glass mat. So if you have a glass mat, you can do this with your mat. One thing I sometimes have trouble when I have my circle cutter or even my fisker cutter. Sometimes I want to make a heart out of this little piece of paper. Let's say it's a color that I only have one little tiny piece left, and I really want to make a heart out of that one tiny piece. Sometimes what happens, when I try to trace it, it moves and it doesn't cut out right, or it doesn't stay still. Same thing happens like if I have a little piece of paper. And this is especially true with the circle cutter. So I have a little piece of paper and I want to make a little circle out of that piece. Since the piece is not big enough to be held down by the circle or the rubber here, it's not going to hold the circle down. So when you try to make a circle with it, see how it just moves around. It doesn't stay put. Well, I got this idea from the slice machine. You know, the slice machine comes with a glass mat, and you're supposed to use repositional glue in order to put your paper on that mat, and then the slice machine will cut it. So you can do the same thing with any kind of glass mat. You can even use a tile. So if you have one of these tiles here, you can do the same thing. You just put some repositional adhesive on the tile and it'll do the same thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to put some repositional adhesive and just going to put a thin coat of that on the glass. And then once you put that thin coat, you're going to let it dry. So make sure it's nice and thin. You don't want it real thick. And I like to put it throughout the whole thing, the whole glass. And you can clean it afterwards. If you want to use this to use it with other cutters, you can remove the repositional adhesive. It's easy to take off with just soap and water. Just wash it real good, and it comes right off. Okay. So I have a nice thin coat. We're going to let that dry so it becomes tacky, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to show you how it will hold on your paper and it'll make it easy for you to cut. So now, as you can see, it's nice and dry and it is very sticky. So now if I take my little piece of paper and I position it on the glass, okay, like you see here, then I can go ahead and cut a circle out of that piece of paper, and it works like a charm. Okay, you even have to pull this off and there. And then if you have a Cricut, you can use the Cricut tool, or if you have the slice, you can use that. But see, now it just pulls off, and now you have a perfect circle. You can do the same thing with using the fiskers. So I'll go ahead and lay this down, and just gotta use a little bit of pressure, and then I'll put my fisker cutter there. I'll align the blade, and then I'll just go around it, and now we don't have to worry. I can concentrate on making sure my template doesn't move, but I don't have to worry that the paper is going to move as well. So that's why I like this method. It just peels off, and actually if you let it dry a little more, it will even be a little less sticky. Now, how are you going to store this? So, and it's still a little wet because for the video I didn't let it dry completely, but you really want to let it dry very well. You can take some parchment paper, or whatever you want to use, some wax paper, and remember it's repositional adhesive, so you don't have to worry that it's gonna stay on your glass. And then you can store it. I usually like to store mine with the protector, so that way this it came with this foam, so I usually like to put it back on. You can see here. So if you buy one of these glass, actually I got this glass at Michael's. They had it on sale for $4.99. And this glass is the Cutter Bee E-Cake Success glass cutter. It was $4.99 today. Today is the, I believe, the 5th. So go ahead and head for Michael's and get one of these if you want to. Another tip that I want to leave you is I found this stamp for $4.99, and what I didn't like is what it says, greeting to you. So what I did is I did some surgical intervention. I went ahead with a craft knife, cut around it, and took it out. So now when I stamp it, it's stamped without anything there. And then you can use any of your small stamps, like I have this Allie Edward sentiment stamp, and I used that. It says cherish the story, which is right here, this little stamp. And then the trick for it is if you stamp it straight across like that, it will be too straight. So what you want to do is you want to take your block and you want to curve your word a little bit, so it's a little curve like you can see there. And then when you stamp it on the block, it stamps on a curve like that. So that's my tip for today. You can really use these clear stamps. You can change them up. And also my trick about using some repositional adhesive on a glass surface. So I hope you liked the tutorial. Come back to see me for some more. Bye.